See, I did it this time. Welcome up to the Epically Geeky Show, episode number 164. I'm your host of the evening, Eugene Stevens. Tonight's opening question is, what is your favorite thing at an amusement park? Ray?
It's the immersion. How can you not enjoy the absolute immersion into whatever it is that you're going to see? So at Harry Potter World, you walk in, you feel like you're in Harry Potter, and everything is fucking magical. You go over to the Jurassic Park area, and you feel like, holy shit, there's like dinosaurs there, and like it's all awesome. It's the immersion of being in what you love.
That's a fantastic answer right there. I love that answer. Chris?
So it's that, but also how well thought out the park is itself. Like Walt Disney World's really good at people moving, so they've paid a lot of attention to the way humans like naturally walk and have made paths that way. So you don't feel, at least the last time I was there, I didn't feel like I was bumper to bumper with people. It felt like a natural flow. So I really like the organization to things like that. Like
channel
layouts, I really enjoy.
Thanks. Joseph?
Turkey legs.
Yeah.
Lame.
Good answer.
Oh, as Jen throws up. Nice.
Like ham.
Yes.
Yeah. Lainey?
So I needed clarification on whether you meant amusement parks or theme parks because I am annoying. So I've got one for each.
Snob.
Don't worry, I've got one for each. So I said amusement parks snacks. So like your Six Flags, your like random hometown, you know, place with rides, whatever, snacks, all the way snacks. Potato tornadoes, walking tacos, fucking fresh squeezed lemonade. I'm in. I love it. But like a theme park, like a True Blue theme park, I love background loops. I love that like extra layer of world building where they search high and low for like perfect background music that further like puts you into the world. I use those in my classroom all the time. I use those when I'm cleaning. I use them when I need to focus because they are literally designed to kind of melt into the background and just like make you feel pleasant. But yeah, that and atmospheric imagineering when they make the outside look like the inside is the best.
Okay. Jen, do you have two answers between amusement parks and theme parks, or?
No, I have a pretty boring answer and did not put as much thought as they did because I just love the roller coasters.
Okay.
I am all about like the twists and the upside downs and the corkscrews. However, about 5 or 6 years ago when I went, I realized my body is not okay with it anymore. And the older I get, the more I have to take motion sickness pills to even ride in the backseat of a car, ride on a bus sometimes, ride on a roller coaster. So it really fucking sucks because I love those thrill rides, and I have to like basically medicate myself an hour before going because my body hates me.
Well, at least you figured that out and seem to found a way around it, because it would be suck if it'd just be like, nope, can't do this anymore. So yeah.
But I do love the crazy ones. Sorry.
Nice. Sean?
I love people watching. I'm in, for lack of a better word, an empath. I pick up on all body signals, so large crowds, usually just I go nuts. But at amusement parks and theme parks, people are typically there enjoying themselves, and I pick that up. I'm not a huge ride person. I'm happy to sit on a bench and watch people for hours. Usually holding backpacks or purses or whatever. That's fine, because I don't medicate myself that much. If I wanted to go on the rides, I'd have to. But it's a theme park, especially like you go to like Disney and stuff like that, where you got a lot of young kids. Fucking love that, because you see little princesses walking around, and the kids they're in this state of joy, and I pick up on that, and it's great. I love it.
Okay, so I'm gonna add on to that because I love people watching too, and I know Chris does as well. But we have a guilty pleasure, and that's especially if they're having an argument in a different language. It's like, oh, what the fuck are you saying?
Yeah, I'm right up there with you.
Oh,
And Disney was great for that.
Animated, and they're just
Listen.
amped up, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God! If Christy was here, she'd so be in on this conversation.
yes.
Oh yeah.
Have y'all
Yeah.
ever played The Biggest Fight game?
No.
If you're with a group of people at like a place like Disney World, especially, it's the best game to play. As you're walking around and you see families like fighting, you decide whether or not you're going to call it as that's the biggest blow up of the day.
Okay.
It's amazing.
So we used to like try to figure out what they were fighting about because that was fun too.
Yeah.
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 Usually fast passes or someone's tired.
Yeah.
The tired ones are easy to pick out, but
If I had a nickel for every time I heard, I paid all this money, I'm like, okay. So did everyone else, but okay.
I love screaming toddler because I have teenagers now. Love a screaming toddler. I just think it's the best. I laugh. I'm like, yeah.
Or in the restaurants when they have this whole huge plate of food in front of them and they won't touch it, and the parents are like ready to pop like a zit. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
So happy not to be there.
The last time we were at Universal Studios, I was holding all the bags because everybody else was on the particular ride. And I'd already been on it, and I'm watching, and this little kid is just giving it to his mom, and his mom is just like, it's like, oh, kid, you're going too far, and he's like just screaming at her, and next thing you know, she snaps, and it's like, oh, this is amazing. No idea what they're saying, but holy fuck, that kid's getting it now.
Good Lord.
Guilty pleasures.
I was gonna go off of what Ray was saying, and I like the immersion. Another thing, and because I don't do amusement parks or theme parks very often, one of the things that I actually really liked was the ability to just go, you know what, I'm here. There's no use even thinking about anything else. I can completely 110% shut off everything else. I don't work for who I work for. I don't have any projects at home I need to work on. I'm here. And that's nice. Like I wish I could do that more often, because otherwise, even if I'm someplace and I'm having a good time, the back of my brain may still be like, when you get home, you need to work on this. And I was just like, no, that's like fucking 7 days away from now. Like I won't even be able to remember whatever I'm thinking of now. So just, hey, look, there's Goofy. Let's go talk to Goofy. Like just, whatever. So tonight's topic was one that Ray came up with. We actually had to go. I had to go back into our history to see if we've done this topic before. We haven't. We've done some things that are kind of adjacent to it, but not quite. So with the advent of things like Galaxy's Edge, and I would say even like the newest, the Super Mario World that has recently opened up, because that entire park is themed directly around that. We're going to come up with some geeky amusement park lands, experiences, however you want to put it together. So, with that being said, who would like to go first?
I'm
going first. I'm going first. Y'all didn't say quick enough. All right, so tasked everyone with coming up with one or two. I've got three, just because the first one that came to mind was literally just like, yeah, I don't have to think about this. Just make the thing. And there are some places out there at some different amusement parks or theme parks now that have a little taste of this. They have a little part of this, but I want the full blown experience. And that's Jurassic World. Just fucking build Jurassic World. You can have the a lot of the rides would be with animatronic dinosaurs going on, of course. But I want it set up like the movie. So you'll arrive in the morning, and you'll have all the shops and everything. The shops are already set up. Like you already know you're gonna have the restaurants. They're gonna have all the themes. You're gonna have all the different shopping places that are gonna have all the different toys and everything else. It's gonna be set up. And then like we could have some dark rides, maybe where you're going to maybe hunt down an escaped dinosaur or something like that. But the big thing's going to be this is not going to have a hotel in it. It's not going to be an overnight thing. It is going to be a daily thing. But when it starts getting dark and it's time to close up the park, that's when the dinosaurs escape. And we're going to have an animatronic T-Rex that raises up behind some of the shops, maybe knocks over some of the stuff. We're going to have, you've seen those people that are in those suits that looks like either a baby T-Rex or a Velociraptor, and they're literally going to fucking chase everyone out of the park. Some of the whoever's working shopkeeping or whatever, they're going to get eaten. They'll just happen to fall behind something. You see the Velociraptor over there, acting like it's eating. Like I want to kind of scare the shit out. Of course, the adults are going to think, "Oh, this is crazy. This is fun." The kids are probably going to lose their damn mind and think they're actually about to get eaten. But yeah, like just make Jurassic World, and then once everyone's out of the park, all right, well, reset. Like that, we don't have to. This is an event that's built so that we can reset everything for the next day. It's part of the problem with some of these parks. I'm just like, when do you have time to like get ready for the next showing or the next event or something like this? And I know they have that stuff figured out, but if you're wanting to do something this big, it's like this got to take a lot of work. But yeah, like I mean, besides actually having real dinosaurs, I would fucking go to Jurassic World. I think it would be awesome.
I think I just read an article where they actually put a price tag on actually creating Jurassic Park.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I think it was in the trillions of dollars. But literally, I read it like this week. Someone actually took the time to calculate it.
That's awesome. I'll have to see if I can find that.
Yeah, I Google it, but I'm having a hard time typing.
I wonder if it's the same guy that like his one shtick was like figuring out like how long it would take to to build the Death Star, and then like his next thing he was trying to figure out like how long it would take to like mop the Death Star or whatever, and it was like years, and it's like the thing would never be clean, like it'd be ridiculous. So
that sounds like a government grant.
Yeah, no.
Is it like Universal that had the Jurassic Park ride, where at the end the T-Rex came down as you're like going down the slide?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie, that kind of freaked me out. I was younger when I first did it.
Terrifying.
And he like came close to your boat as you
Nice.
were going over your
No,
raft.
she's like on top of you, and she's freaking huge.
Yeah, you could reach out.
She's massive.
And like I'm saying, like it's we've had rides at different places, and of course you see like I think it's at Universal or whatever they have. They have a Velociraptor that's kind of it like sticks its head out or whatever, and like people are taking pictures and not paying attention. It's like right there in their face and like scares them. Like I want the whole experience through the whole thing. So
I literally thought when you said about like the raptors walking around, like you're talking about like the good raptor costumes.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking like the air
plastic
suit T-Rex is running after you. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be scared of that. But yeah,
no,
that makes more sense.
No, absolutely. I did so much. Oh my god, that would help. That's the Six Flags version. Like if Universal picks this thing up, it's gonna be all out. If Six Flags picks it up, you're right. It's gonna be the inflatable T-Rex suit.
And Jurassic Park brought to you by Kmart.
Yeah. That'll be hilarious.
I was gonna add though.
All right.
As amazing as that would be, you have to amp it up even more for Halloween. Like it would have to be like really gory and like.
Oh yeah, like you could definitely do a couple of weeks out of the year. It's just like, all right, listen, this is adults only, or 17 and above. Not because it's going to be anything like that. Like. So instead of the shopkeeper running and tripping or whatever, behind, the trash cans or whatever in the Velociraptor, you just kind of like, we'll have like an air cannon shooting blood and shit out. Like it's going to be, like you said, it'll be awesome.
This existed. They did that.
Did it?
Yeah. They did.
Nice.
They did Universal Halloween Horror Nights on Islands of Adventure for a few years, and I want to say it was the same year that they did like Island Under Siege, and they did the thing with the superheroes. Did you not hear me rant about that for like 2 days? No. Okay. But it was like horrifying. Like it was really gory and gross, but it was really good.
Nice.
So
I'm telling you, this could sell. We could definitely sell it. And like I said, I didn't have to think about this one this long. This was literally just like popping my head. I was like, well, I've got to come up with 2 more because this is too easy. I literally thought someone else was going to be like, well, yeah, of course, Jurassic World. Why not? Like,
yeah. I think the last I heard, they were trying the little gyrospheres that they did in the first Jurassic World. They were trying to figure out how to make that a real possibility.
See, that would be fun.
The engineering on it is just absolutely wild.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Having a hard time.
Yeah.
Fun though.
Yep. All right, Ray, would you like to go next?
Sure, why not? Stop trying to draw on me. Fuck. All right, I'm gonna start with Gone in 60 Seconds because I think it would be fucking amazing
That would be awesome.
so you get there and you start off. You would be
You steal your car?
courses for like actually how to drive and how to be a getaway driver and all that stuff because I think it'd be a lot of fun. And then they'd have a course set up and you get to drive it. But before you get to drive it, you get to plan a heist. And so you got to go through a whole scenario where you got to steal the car,
Nice.
and then you got to you get away from the cops and stuff like that. And I thought there'd be a lot of fun. Now, with that though, the restaurants would all be like absolute dives, right? Like the greasy spoons, the dive,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff, and then of course fast food because why not? And then your accommodations are like little hangouts where you hang out with your gang and you try and figure your heist and talk about that kind of stuff. And there'd be like secret messages in black ink and stuff, or the black light ink and stuff like that. So, and then your shows, shown on the big screen, or like it looked like an old movie theater or whatever, but it would be your heist would actually be showing up on the big screen. And it'd be highlights from the different heists, and
Oh my God, that would be awesome.
I thought it'd be a lot of fun. So, and then depending on how good you are, you would actually get like to drive Eleanor or not, and yeah.
It'd be so cool.
They could do that. They used to have the Richard Petty experience. They could totally do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that could totally be done. Just with all the extra planning. The planning of your heist though is like that's where you're taking it to the next step. So yeah, nice. Chris, what's your first one?
I only have two.
Okay.
So I didn't overachieve like Ray. So it's called Fangorn Forest.
Okay.
It's for those who like to meander and stroll, for those who are not in a rush.
Okay.
So, because the end,
Also known as Endworld.
Endworld. If you aren't familiar, Fangorn Forest is where Treebeard is. He's in it. Anyway.
Yes.
And nerding
So
out,
just like obviously.
yeah. So the hotel would be like tree houses. All the rooms would be named after different Ents. The restaurant would be called Entmoot.
I see that they would
Nice.
actually bring you your food.
Yeah, everything's slow. So it's like simple fare and just really easy things, not a lot of fuss, not a lot of choice. And then the ride would be a slow meandering kind of train ride, and you just amble through Fangorn Forest,
You had me at train.
plain, Fimberthrill's garden. Fimberthrill was Treebeard's wife. You go through her garden. There's lovely walking paths. It's sort of meander because I am a very low energy person, and the thought I like going to parks, but like I just like walking around.
You could have like people.
Pleasant little like medieval pub music's kind of playing around and stuff.
You could have like animatronics way in the background, just slowly moving.
Yeah.
That look like Ents.
Just chilling.
The people who are designing it are going to be at first. They're going to be like, "Oh crap, this is going to be huge. This is going to be." And they're like, "No, it has to move very slowly. Like it has to get from here to here, like within a week." Be like, "Oh shit, we got this."
The people designing it would be high as a kite.
Yeah.
Talking about
Just really chill vibes.
It's like Efteling without the thrill rides. I like it.
Like the manager that keeps coming to check on, like as they're building this stuff, they're like, "No, slower.
Slower.
yeah, really.
No, slower."
Tortoise speed.
Yes.
And the main ride brought to you by Cheech and Chong.
Why? You just appreciate an amble. You appreciate not rushing.
But you can have a pipe because why not?
Oh hell yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, fire in an amusement park based on trees. That's a good idea.
I don't support that idea.
It can be pretend pipe.
Yeah, the CEO is not on board with that.
You can vape it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just looks like an old pipe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Gandalf appears every once in a while.
Yeah.
Gandalf the White. And
Radagast could too.
Radagast could be there. He
I
could.
was gonna say you could have good meet and greets. That would be
Or
fun.
you get the blue wizards. That way, when people ask where were you during the actual War of the Ring, they're like, we were at the
Okay, yeah, they were there.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, if you wanted one fast ride, that could be Radagast. Like you ride with him and be like,
Right? His sled with the rabbits.
yes,
Yes.
Done.
That'd be fun.
That'd be amazing.
so nice.
Same one for us.
Joseph, what's your first one?
So I'm gonna go with the one that's less thought out
Do you need
first.
your notes?
I'm right here. But I'm going to preface with both of them have physical structures, but they're also based off sort of the marketplace in the movie Valerian and the something 1,000 Planets. I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
So it's a virtual reality marketplace in that movie. So it's very similar here. So my first land is Starship Troopers land.
Oh,
All right, so you get.
oh, hold on. We're getting serious.
Yeah, really. You must be this white to enter.
When you enter, with all the Nazi imagery. When you enter, you're given your gear, and so this very boxy looking place transforms into a planet, so that you can see it. You get to play. So you're playing these theme parks. You get to play as a civilian and just explore, go to the different planets within the thing, and just kind of walk around, see what it has to offer, go to different marketplaces. If you don't want to do that, you could choose to be a scientist, and you're given missions to explore certain new worlds and uncover their artifacts or whatever they have going on. You can be a soldier and fight the bug menace that is slowly encroaching on the theme park, or you play as a mercenary and protect the scientists. The catch is the war is live, and the theme park resets every January 1. So January 1, the war starts. And if the people can stop the bug menace, it becomes this sprawling, huge, like intergalactic empire where people can go visit planets. If they can't stop the bug menace, slowly but surely, all of the planets start to die and get taken over by the bugs. And then January 1, it resets. So that it's always like a fresh experience every time you go.
That's cool.
That would be cool.
So this is the less thought of, right?
This is the last. Now, there will be certain sections within the planets where you can do things like I thought of the riding the brain bugs as roller coasters.
Yeah.
So when you're on the planets that have been conquered and you now have enslaved the bugs, you get to use them for your own entertainment.
Right.
And then you have slow scenic rides, kind of like sitting in a planetarium on these spaceships that are going from planet to planet within this world.
Nice.
Cool.
That's my first one.
Nice.
I still think the fact that we don't have a first person or even third person like shooter game like just kills me. Like that movie was built to be a game. Like
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
you just take the Halo engine and tweak it just a little bit and like you got a freaking that'd be awesome. So
There it is.
all right, Lainey, what's your first one?
Well, ahoy there, mateys, and
Ahoy.
welcome to Jimmy Buffett's Latitudes.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Now, I would like to preface two things. One, I'm aware that Margaritaville resorts exist. I know that. Trust me, I'm aware. But to be very real, now they kind of suck. So why not just knock them all out, start over? Also, after naming my resort, I'm doing a tiny little bit more research. I realized that Jimmy Buffett, I think, has a senior living facility called Latitudes in Key West. I'm unclear on the details. I'm unclear on the details, but this is not that. So
Okay. Not to be confused with.
yeah, it's changes in latitudes, changes in attitudes. It's just FYI. You want to talk about the moment when my husband realized that he was married to someone who was born into parrot headdom? It was this week. It's been a lot. So it's going to be kind of Margaritaville themed, essentially. However, The hotel's main draw is it's like chilled vibes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just super laid back, very islandy. Probably going to exist somewhere on the Florida coast. Duh.
Yeah.
Naturally. So, and it's got kind of a choose your own adventure vibe, but I'll be honest with you, nothing too crazy, nothing that's going to involve a lot of effort and time on your part. You want to get super involved and find Joe Merchant. If anybody actually gets that reference, I'm extremely proud of you. If you want to go on an adventure and solve the mystery and find Joe Merchant and find Desdemona in the Bahamas and whatever, go for it. Have fun. Incredible. If you want to go and solve another mystery and find the protagonist of the song Jollyman Sings and listen to his tales about the time he was saved from pirates by a dolphin, enjoy. More power to you. You can do whatever you like, but feel free to enjoy our incredible dining and water park options. Let's begin. So we've got our signature restaurant is the Hemisphere Dancer, named after Jimmy Buffett's plane that was famously shot down in Jamaica. Specializing in West Indian food, specifically Jamaica, as an ode, obviously, to the place that it was shot down in. But lots of seafood, a little bit of something for everybody, incredible frozen beverages, and it's got to be all Imagineered to look like it's perpetually twilight on the beach somewhere, obviously. So that's inside the hotel. That's one of your options, right? That's where we're going. So after, if you want to venture out a little bit, you can make your way into our glorious water park, which the center of is a giant volcano with a blender on top. So every hour on the hour, you hear the familiar tune of Volcano, but you do know when the volcano blows because it's every hour on the hour. But out comes what looks like margaritas. What a delight. Fantastic, right? That's what everybody wants. And you can watch it as you enjoy our delightful volcano wave pool. Every time that volcano goes off, get some delightful dope ass waves while you're burying your toes in our fake sand. Incredible. Love it. But don't let that stop you. We got chills and thrills too. What were you gonna ask me?
All I can picture is Lisa Simpson getting some margarita. I am the Dairy Queen.
Yes, exactly. So, also go on our volcano river raft adventure, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's one of those really dope ass giant raft rides that you always ride on at water parks.
Love those.
Travel through the volcano. Maybe meet up with some famous characters from some of your favorite Jimmy Buffett songs. The pirate who looks at 40, etc., etc. Anyway, so go do that. It's fantastic. And then please don't miss our Fins Up Flume water coaster, where you actually make your way through a shark tank. And if you get hungry, we've got obviously our Cheeseburger in Paradise restaurant, where you can get yours with Heinz 57 and a cold draft beer, obviously. We've also got our Stranded on a Sandbar bar off to the side. Incredible cocktails, lovely margaritas, anything you could ever want. And then our Boat Drinks pool bar and snacks located in our lazy river that goes all the way around our volcano. Done.
Boom.
Nice.
Mic drop.
I created the place that I want to go.
Imagine that.
The older I've gotten, the more my friends and I have realized, we're like, should we go on a Margaritaville cruise? Should we do that? And we're all kind of like, I think it's coming for us. I feel like this is the next phase of our life. Wouldn't it?
You're gonna retire at that. Like, there's gonna be a margarita.
I'm gonna be 40 and I'm gonna be like, yep, this is my life now.
Nice.
I love it.
Sean, what's your first one?
So I did a theme park and a hotel chain. So I'll go with the theme park first. So it's Caffeine Land for us adults here. So the best thing about it is it's free admission, fast entry on your first time in. But in order to leave, you have to purchase a lifetime membership. And then for all those lifetime, like that have the lifetime passes, it is a slow ass line to get in, and you have to be super frustrated and angry by the time you actually get in. But that's just the way caffeine works. What else? All rides, such as like the Pill Popper, Timber Coke Falls, and coffee mugs instead of teacups.
Yeah.
Of course.
They like start off really, really, really fast, but they taper off, and then eventually you're like just hating being on the ride before they let you off. You're just angry and pissed off. Just want to get off this fucking ride. And the restaurants, much like the rides, they like takes forever to get you seated, but once you're seated, they like bring you the food super fast, but then they don't bring you the check until you're super pissed off, angry, and hungry again.
Nice.
That's just caffeine, baby. It's all about the caffeine.
And who's sponsoring this? Is it Coke? Is it?
It's probably like ibuprofen. And yeah, you got to think long term here. It's like if you can't get the caffeine, you got to pop something, baby.
There you go.
They would sell it at the place as well, but it's $100 for a pill.
Oh yeah, they'd be like the guys dressed in like pills walking around, like handing shit out to the kids.
This totally sounds like an offshoot land of Itchy and Scratchy.
Oh yeah, that's what I was thinking with this. Well, everything I thought of was like Simpsons did it. Simpsons did it. It was like a freaking South Park episode. Simpsons did it. I'm like, oh my god, Tweak, killing me.
Nice.
But it was like, oh no, they didn't do Caffeine Land. Fuck them. And then like, I'm a huge Star Trek fan. Well, they've done that, so I can't really go for Star Trek or.
Well, you could have. I mean, you could have done more than just the hotel experience, but.
But they've done so much, and Star Wars has been like a lot of science fiction's been done already, and then TV Land, which I thought of was like, oh wait, I just watched that on Married with Children. Fucking Kelly worked there. So that took out a lot of shows, and then I was like, yeah. Then I drank my coffee, and I'm like, wait, actually, it was Deb that thought of this one. She was like, you should do Coffee Land, and like all the different types of coffees. And I'm like, no, I got to be a little more open because like Coke and stuff like that.
The first one that I kind of thought through was also as soon as Jurassic World went through my head, this was the next thing that just immediately popped in my head. It's going to be called The Heroes of Hyrule. And much like how we have the new Super Mario World, which I'm going to have to go to. It just looks too awesome. Like I've played those games all my life. I have to actually experience being in a Mario game. So it's going to be a multi-day experience. It's going to be a fairly large park. We're actually going to have small representations. Of course, we can't make it too large, but we will have a desert area. We will have a cold snow area. We will have a forest and so on and so forth. We will have a couple of different villages that you can visit, and there'll be shopping and entertainment and everything else. And you can really kind of go about this two different ways. If you want to just kind of take the laid back, I'm just going to kind of explore, check out the shopping, just kind of, be entertained by being immersed in this, kind of fictional fantasy world, you absolutely can. But if you want to take the track and you actually want to become one of the heroes of Hyrule over the 3 or 4 days that you're going to be there, you're also going to have to complete 8 different dungeons. The dungeons were going to be done in a combination of a couple of different styles. They're going to be either dark rides, so that you can run around and maybe through a dark ride and shooting at stuff or whatever. We can also do VR stuff, so that you're running around and physically swinging a foam sword, but attacking stuff or whatever. And then I also want, because they are dungeons, and this is based off of the Legend of Zelda, some of these are going to be escape rooms. So I thought the combination of adding the 3 things together, you could come up with some pretty interesting dungeons to get through, and having to clear 8 of them in order to complete your mission, I think would be fantastic over 2 or 3 days. Now, it's not going to be for the faint of heart. Like, a lot of people are going to be like, wait a minute, so you want me to actively work and think for 2 days, yeah, you want to become a hero.
Yep.
Otherwise, go back and sit outside and enjoy your drink. Otherwise, grab your sword and let's go. So,
That would be awesome.
it just, to me, I'm just like, this sounds like a fun thing, especially now they got the Mario World thing set up. I'm just like, well, of course, Nintendo. If Nintendo starts making bank on this, which I'm assuming they're going to, that would obviously be the next thing to go with. So, but yeah, I thought of Heroes of Hyrule would be awesome.
That would be good. And then,
Quinn would move in, like
oh yeah, Quinn would
just-
move in for sure.
he would just make him a little spot where he can
Yeah.
just live, just be there.
But like for the entertainment stuff, like you could do a lot of period type stuff. Like the only place you ever go see a blacksmith is like like an old time town. Like, well, of course there would be a fucking blacksmith. Like actually walking, going there and taking courses if you wanted to, or just watching the dude like actually do stuff with steel. That'd be awesome.
It'd be really cool to figure out. So your line to get into to be part of like the really deep stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You have a torch with you, and the smoke would go a specific way. And you'd have to follow that smoke, and that way you could spread out the line, and then would eventually get to the front of the line by following the smoke on their torch.
Nice. And I just thought about this. Much like some of these other lands or whatever. Of course, you can add additional funds as you go along, but literally, you will turn in your cash as you're going in for rubies and gems and stuff, and that's literally how you're going to pay. You're going to be walking around with a little pouch and be like, "All right, well, it's time for lunch. How much is that? 3 red rubies? All right, here you go." So, so that alone would be awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Wary, what's your next one?
All right, I'm going with a very adult one. Kids are not allowed.
Okay.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, okay.
I think it would be a lot of fun, but you can't have kids there. So the rides would be. I thought it'd be kind of cool to do like you're on a ship, but it would be like a simulation all around you, so everywhere, and it would simulate you guys sailing, so everybody would have like a job to do, and then
that'd be
obviously you're getting boarded, and it would be actors that are boarding, and you have to like fight them or whatever, and they'd be trained so that people don't actually get hurt. It'd be fun. I don't know, but it would start off with cannons and stuff like that, and you'd have to have certain things. I think it'd be a blast. And then the other ride that I thought about as well would be a guided tour through the history of pirates, but obviously from a pirate giving you the tour, because why not? It'd be hilarious. Accommodations would range from if you don't have a lot of money, you get a hammock off in the corner somewhere. And then if you have a lot of money, then you could have the captain's quarters. Or the brig, if you're, then your shows would be, so I'm thinking of like Disneyland's big, huge, like water shows. So it would be 2 big ships having a big battle and like pirates swimming back and forth and having a big fight. That'd be a lot of fun. And then your restaurant is High Tortuga, and all they do is serve fish, rum, and bread. That's it.
Love
That's
it.
it?
Yes.
Yeah. It's immersive. I like it.
Yeah. And you have to say, "Yar." That's the only, that's,
Oh, constantly. Yeah, like
To speak like a pirate everywhere you go.
everywhere.
Like a pirate day.
if you don't speak with a pirate, they can't understand you.
It's like
Exactly.
Tudyk and Dodgeball.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Alan Tudyk. I forgot about him. He's so awesome.
I know.
Nice.
But yeah, if you don't speak to them in pirate, then they don't understand what you're saying.
They
Yeah,
rob
that's
you and
awesome.
leave you in a gutter.
That's another one of those things when as soon as you show up, you have to turn in all of your money for like literally gold coins. Like you're going to be paying with doubloons for everything.
All the balloons.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you're carrying your rum with you that you're everywhere. It's,
Nice. Yeah.
and everybody just fills it up for you all the time. So John would love it there.
Chris, what's your next one?
Okay, this is my next and last one.
Got it. Yeah, I've only got one more after this too.
I don't have a clever name for this one. It kind of popped into my head, and I had 15 minutes before the show started, and I was just like, Adam's Land, So it is a gothic, creepy, mysterious adventureland. It's set in a misty moor setting. Black and white attire is encouraged, and Lurch is there to take your ticket.
Nice.
So you're staying at the Adams Manor. All kitted out, like think of the Adams Family movies from the early 90s. Restaurant would be Cousin It's Diner, and there you have like mystery stew and Grandmama's special. Some of the rides would be Adventures with Thing, which would be like a dark theater ride, and you'd kind of like see the world through his perspective.
You get his car, his cute little car.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that
you
would
could,
work.
and then you could do the dark theater ride like that. With his perspective. You could do a tour of Nevermore Academy with Wednesday, and then Uncle Fester's motorcycle ride.
Okay, but you also have to have a dark ride where you get shrunk down and you get to ride in Adams in Gomez's model train.
Yes.
That would be so awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You could also like pull the different chains and see where you go.
Oh, that would be, yeah.
That's how you. That's your which ride you're going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you. I thought it was fun. I'd want to go. I dress up constantly. I like when parks encourage that kind of interaction.
Yeah.
Because I know with Universal, Disney, you're not allowed to dress up.
You're not.
Unless you're doing the the Star Wars thing, then yes, they do encourage you to dress up and everything. So
yeah. But
because one of our teachers just went and he's like, I've never done a cosplay anything, and he knocked it out of the park. He had a backstory and everything. I was like, dude, that was awesome.
Very cool.
So
yeah,
sweet,
nice. Joseph, what's your next one?
All right, this is the one that's more well thought out. So this is going to be based on the Elder Scrolls series of video games. You go into the park, and you first spend your first 4 or 5 hours or so designing your character, making sure that everything is exactly perfect. You choose from 3 classes. You get to pick a fighter, a thief or a rogue, and a mage. And then each one of those 3 classes, depending on how you play, has subclasses that you can unlock as you are going throughout the theme park. You can join guilds. So you have a fighters guild or a companions if you're playing like Skyrim. You have a thieves guild, a mages guild, or merchants guild. And then if you want to play like an evil character, you can join the Dark Brotherhood. And so that's usually reserved for assassins, but you can do that if you want. NPCs will be people that work there. Will be giving you quests to go on as you explore the different land. The different things that you can do is you can go dungeon exploring. You will gain XP for better loot drops, and this will be done with virtual reality, so that no 2 dungeons are ever the same.
Nice.
You have random encounters with enemies, random loot crates. If you die in a dungeon, you have to go back out, talk to an NPC, and he will resurrect you. But you don't lose any of the things that you've collected.
Okay.
And then you can go and attempt. In the middle of our theme park, there is going to be the Red Mountain. So that's from Morrowind, and it's a volcano that erupts. Randomly, twice a day, the Red Mountain will erupt. If you are outside when it erupts, it affects your status, or your stats rather. So you have a higher miss rate on, or a reduced damage on ranged attacks, both magical and non-magical. If you're in a tavern, your drinks and food orders for the next hours will have a random chance to buff a random stat, and all of your stats are stackable. The territory around the Red Mountain is a forest. You can have random encounters with higher level enemies for legendary loot drops, and it allows for PvP fighting. If you die in the forest around the Red Mountain, you lose your items, and you have a permanent stats reduction. You have to go back to an NPC to resurrect you, and it's up to you whether or not you want to go back into the forest and try and find whatever you lost,
Uh,
or if you want to go and try and level back up and then try and go back into the forest, so you can try and recoup your things. Taverns will be places where you can buy food, trade with merchants, you can rent a room to sleep, that kind of stuff. Other things that are available, you have horseback archery, so you can work on that. Obviously, sword fighting skills, and then I do have roller coasters in the land to make it more of a theme park that will look like the dragons from Skyrim. So you're kind of like flying around and doing that. You can have dueling roller coasters. Essentially, this was like a LARPer's wet dream.
Yeah,
You
no
know?
joke.
Love it.
Holy man. I know I'd spend like 4 hours building a character, 6 hours trying to get out of the room because I can't figure out the door. And my first quest would be getting an NPC a beer, and I'd die.
It's gonna be all level 1 characters have to fight a mud crab, and you see a bunch of dead bodies.
I love
know.
it.
Yeah.
Crabs.
Awesome.
Yeah, as I was thinking that one out, I was like, okay, this would be cool. And then what would I want to do? And then just kind of, this is where I went with it.
There you go. Absolutely.
I like it.
Sweet.
Lainey, what's your next one?
Well, it's time to play the music. It's time to light the lights.
Uh-oh.
It's time to meet the Muppets at our interactive Muppet Hotel. So,
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, number one, why hasn't this already been done?
because Disney doesn't know what to do with the Henson
The
Fairies.
hotel
Apparently
has
so.
been done, but they did the Muppets.
Yes, they have the Muppets. Well,
The show.
we'll talk later. I'm not going to get off on it. Okay. So my idea was obviously hotel theme park attached. But I want the hotel to be a little bit more immersive. So I kind of want it to take on the same, not the exact same plot. I want it to be a little bit more diversified so you don't always have the same experience. But I want it to be like the Great Muppet Caper, which is my personal favorite Muppet movie.
Uh-huh.
So we're going to set it in like early 80s, late 70s London. You're going to come in on the big double-decker bus, and you're going to stay at the shithole that is the Happiness Hotel, complete with Rat Bellman and everything. You'll stay there. It's obviously Imagineered. It'll be fine. You'll survive. So, but again, I want most of the hotel to do that atmospheric engineering. So you're walking around, you're inside, but you feel like you're walking on the streets of London at nighttime. It's very cool. So, you're again doesn't have to follow the exact same plot line, but I do want a lot of the same characters. So we are going to have Lady Holiday and her little brother Nicky. You're going to have to help solve the jewel heist. So one of the things that you're going to get to do is go and have dinner with with Kermit and Fozzie and Piggy and Gonzo at the Dubonnet Club, and watch a little floor show with Miss Piggy, and suddenly the lights go out and your adventure begins. So I figured different artifacts can be stolen from Lady Holiday. Maybe it's not Nikki this time, but there's also going to have the Mallory Gallery where she puts the giant diamond, the baseball diamond. I figured that'll also be part of it. So your adventure might take you there. Your adventure could start and end in the Dubonnet Club. It's really whatever you want to make of it. So part of your day can also be spent in our delightful Muppet themed theme park. We're very excited about this. I wish that this existed. So it would be so cool. So our main attraction, our e-ticket, is the Great Gonzo Cannonball Conundrum Coaster. It's going to be a launch coaster. You're going to shoot out of the cannon just like Gonzo, and it's going to take you all throughout. It's kind of like Rock and Roller Coaster. It's going to take you through a lot of different scenery that should be very familiar to you if you're familiar with the Muppet Show. A lot of Muppet Show references as opposed to movie references in this one. Got to have something for the kids. So we have our Pigs in Space spinner. So they'll board the ship shaped like a pig, go around a few times, listen to the Pigs in Space theme song, a little bit of commentary from Piggy, Dr. Strange Pork, and Link Cogthrob. The whole gang is there. We're going to have I figure if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We are going to have a 3D theater show because it's the Muppets. They got to put on a show. But this time, someone's going to be trying to buy the theater. No worries. Muppets will put on a show, raise the money. They're going to buy the theater back. Mayhem will ensue in the meantime, starring all of your favorites. And then I think we need something a little laid back, a little chill. So I figure, why not take a lovely cruise through the swamp with our good pal Kermit? We'll have a nice little boat ride.
Nice.
We'll just meander through the swamps, meet some of our pals. I love when they do Kermit's extended family because they're all hillbillies and they live in Tampa, Florida. I really appreciate that. So I would love more world building on that. And then, of course, it's not a theme park if there's not a dark ride. What better dark ride vehicle than the Studebaker that takes Kermit and Fozzie and Gonzo to California in the first place? We're going on the Muppet movie adventure.
Nice.
Let's do it. You hop aboard your Studebaker with your good pals. You meet lots of people along the way. Say hello to the Electric Mayhem. Run from Doc Hopper as he tries to steal Kermit's legs, all ending in a ghost town complete with giant animal. So that's our attractions. And then as far as, it's not a theme park without snacks, obviously. So we have to have now, of course, you have your fine dining and dinner show within the hotel at the Dubonnet Club, but fret not if that's not your style. We also have a delightful steakhouse hosted by the Swedish chef, known as his Smorgasbord Bork Bork Bork. So what a delight. It's beautiful. It's lovely, but every now and then you might hear some crashing and shouting coming from the kitchen. Maybe you look over, maybe Swedish Chef is in there causing calamity, complete with state-of-the-art animatronic, obviously. I'm not an idiot. That would be amazing. And then if you don't feel like you have time for a table service, I completely understand. I too like to go, go, go. But we've also got Rizzo's Pizza Joint located in our Muppets Take Manhattan Miniland, obviously. Because Rizzo has to have a pizza joint. That's why they did it in the first place. It's great. So come and grab a nice New York slice served to you by a bunch of animatronic rats, because why not? For our friends that are maybe looking to get some veggies in, maybe prefer to keep a vegetarian or vegan diet, we have the Rainbow Connection hosted by the Electric Mayhem. Janice has taken care of all of your vegan and vegetarian needs and has put together a lovely menu while you watch animatronic Electric Mayhem playing in the back. Quick service, come in, grab a bite, stay if you like, and then leave. No big deal. And then if you're looking for a little something to enjoy while you're walking around this delightful theme park, we have Beaker and Bunson's Libation Lab, complete with beverages for adults, but also beverages for children. So do with that what you will. And wrap it all up, head back to the hotel, and get some rest. That's my Muppets themed hotel in Land.
I have two requests.
Yes.
One is there has to be a Muppet Man walking around somewhere.
Obviously.
Where it's multiple Muppets that are walking around and
yes.
with the
yes.
Yes. Right? That
would be fantastic, yes.
Yes.
And the other one is I would think it would be hilarious to have Statler and
Waldorf.
Outside of almost every theme or every ride, heckling the crowd and like giving spoilers out to what they're about to go on.
I say we just do a mobile heckling. Yeah. Just move them around. I like it.
Is the hotel the Statler and Waldorf?
No, it's the Happiness Hotel, but it could be. They are both named after hotels on purpose. And then I also thought, I was noodling around the idea of a Miss Piggy themed gift shop. I thought it would be really cute to do because Piggy loves to shop.
It'd be like Tiffany's.
Yes.
Nice.
And then down the back alley, like a little hole in the wall, it could be like the Fraggle Rock with like Doozer's Cafe or something like that.
I almost forgot one of the most important parts. Obviously, there's a Muppet Christmas Carol overlay every year.
That's what I was thinking. Like, man, you gotta get the Fraggles and like even Sesame Street. Oh yeah, you could have Sesame Street.
I was gonna
right
say
in
if you literally just had Sesame Street, like that would bring people to tears. Literally turn onto Sesame Street and Big Bird's like, "Hi, how are you?" Oh, there'd be a grown adults just like pouring down tears, be like, "I've always wanted to meet you, Big Bird."
Or like Sesame Street, like daycare. You could just drop the kids off there, and guaranteed they'll come out with a higher IQ.
I think we'll get drunk with Animal.
Nice.
I like it.
Sean, what's your next one?
So I'm doing a hotel chain.
Okay.
Called Hotel Age. So basically, each floor of the hotel will be themed in a specific year.
Okay.
So you like get in the elevator, and it's like a time machine by like Doc Brown.
Nice.
And instead of the floors, you pick the year. So you go out, and everything on that floor, all the food, the TV, everything will be for that year of that day.
Oh, that would be
So
awesome.
like if you got like a newspaper delivered to you, 1980 July 4th or something like that, it would be that day. All the television would be on what happened on that day. The paper obviously would be for the city that the hotel's in. But so like a 10-floor hotel would have 10 years in it. So if you had them scattered all over the country, they could choose the years that they want. So each hotel would be like totally different.
That would be awesome, actually.
I know. I'm like, this is like copywriter in this, like, this is what I'm putting it out. So if it comes out now, it's copyright infringement.
There you go.
Yeah, for like the amount of people that now have disposable income and wish for it to be in like back in the 80s or something like that, or 60s or so. There's probably certain years you don't want to do.
Let's be careful with that.
Yeah, there'd probably be a criteria like, race riots. No, can't do that one.
Pre-1960s are only white people allowed.
Yeah. Obviously, there would be like HR would be very heavily involved in this.
Yes.
But like you like say you pick like 1998 or something like that and flicked on the TV. Oh, there's X-Files kind of thing. Like it would only be for that year. So
that's an awesome idea.
No cell phones, iPads, internet.
Nothing like that. Like the food, like even like the commercials and stuff like for food. It'd be like the highlights. Oh, they're just marketing this now. Oh, that's all you can get on this floor. So.
Oh yeah, that would be really awesome. Is if you work with some of the companies and be like, hey, we need y'all to go back and pull back some of these things and make them. Hell, that would be worth it.
Coke.
People would literally go to these places just to be able to get some of these specialty foods. Yeah, like be like, all right, cool. I'm going to this hotel just so I can get another bottle of clear Pepsi. Like,
well, yeah, exactly. Shit like that. Like, it's only for those specific years. So each floor would be instead of floor 1, floor 2, it'd be pick the year, and then
that'd be awesome.
That's awesome. Where you would sign up for.
I like it.
Very cool.
I like it.
Well, my second and last one is I was trying to figure out something and ended up kind of being a culmination of a lot of different things. One of my favorite things, the last amusement park I went to was, theme park was Disney World. We went to Disney World several years ago at Christmas time with my boys and the rest of my family. Very helpfully planned by Lainey. And I never understood until I went there the whole thing about being an adult and going to a theme park. Like I was just like, okay, I mean, I guess if that's your thing or whatever. And after going to Epcot, I was like, oh no, I get this now. Like this would be a fun thing to do with just like your husband or wife and then a group of friends and just like chill there all day. So one of the things that I, had fun before everyone moved away, was like the times that we would go hang out and play board games, and those of us who wanted to drink could drink and stuff. So I'm thinking, you know what, we're fucking doing board game Epcot. So here we go. I looked it up. There are 11 lands that you visit at Epcot. Thus, there will be 11 board games that you can go visit. So the first one will be, everything's will be themed around a different board game. So you'll have Catan, where you can literally go and you'll have the Catan land. It will be very Scandinavian.
You stole my only idea, Eugene. Catan, everything's in hexagons and.
Yes, literally everything will be set up like that. You can go in there, there'll be restaurants and stuff there you can eat. you can eat at and stuff. There'll be shops, of course, selling Catan stuff or whatever. There'll be lots of places where you can sit down and play Catan. The actual Catan League could actually be there, and you could see how you rank or whatever. And then, of course, we could have like a giant interactive version of Catan that people could play. Like you'd sign up and play it. And so if it's a VR version or whatever, or hell, maybe it's just literally like all the board pieces are like this big. Like it would be insane. It would just add a whole other thing to it. So we have Catan Land. Ticket to Ride would be themed as early American. We'd have train stuff everywhere, and literally, the big ticket version of Ticket to Ride you could play would be, they would literally be model trains running around on this map that you're connecting stuff to. I'm like, this would be fantastic. I was trying to make sure we had like the four kind of pillars of modern board gaming. Alhambra would be Middle Eastern. So you would be building your Alhambras to your housing or whatever, and everything's gonna be themed around it. Carcassonne would be themed in Renaissance French. So we'd have our French food and wine and everything that would be the focus there. King of Tokyo would be set in Japan. Of course, we have kaiju, and maybe we could actually have animatronic, the monsters actually fighting each other, for that big version of the game. Castle Panic would be English and Scottish, so we'd have our castle, everything would be castle themed and everything. And then we would have the Clue Dinner Theater, where you'd have to make a reservation. You could, if you have an entire group, you could do this. If not, they would pair you up, and everyone would play a part, and you would literally have to figure out who the murderer was.
I love it.
The Betrayal on the House on the Hill would be more of our adult thing. We would have to kind of fudge a little bit so that you can't literally just pull any room, but this is going to be a VR experience. So literally we're going to have these VR rooms set up so that when you go into this room and someone goes upstairs, like, you're going to have to yell through the house to be able to hear what the hell's going on. If not, you'll just have people telling you in your ears, like, it's your turn. This is what you're doing. As much as I hate to do it, it's a staple. We're going to have a Monopoly place, but it'll be themed around New York. So that'll be fun. You can get your New York pizza, all that stuff going on.
If you lose, you get kicked out.
Yeah, right. Forbidden Island, you'll literally have to be playing the game in real life, and so as the part of the island is sinking, it will literally go beneath the water. So you have to make sure that you stay on the different parts that are supposed to be there. We could have a Risk land where we actually have remote tanks that are going around and shooting each other. That would be a hell of a lot of fun. And then we can change them out over time. So some of them actually would be very, very close to being able to change things out. So maybe, during, after a couple of years or during a certain time of the year, instead of the Clue area, maybe we turn it into Fury of Dracula. And so you're in the you're going across Europe trying to find Dracula, and we actually have someone dressed as Dracula to take care of it, or Elder Sign, or Terraforming Mars. So we could literally change out these lands as either time's going by, and then when it comes around to like special events like Christmas and Halloween and stuff like that, a lot of these games actually already have those things like not Monopoly, but Monopoly, but like Catan. There's different versions of Catan, so literally we just change it out. So instead of now we're playing in Northern Europe, and things snowed in, it looks very wintry or whatever, and I'm just like, and then of course you just grab your beer and as your choice of spirit, and just go around and keep playing these board games with your group and your friends. And I'm just like, I want this, I want to go there. Like y'all said, like, as I'm thinking this through, I'm just like, this is where I really want to go. Like, going back to Epcot would be fun, but I don't really drink a lot, and I'm just like, well, I'd like to play board games. I was just like, well, just theme the whole thing around board games. So just done and done. So
Monopoly Land takes like 12 hours to get through.
Oh no, we're putting timers on this bitch.
Just saying, if you want realism.
So,
like, literally, there's going to be a sign as you walk in. It says, you must play by rules, like by the official rules, so that it keeps that game from not going on for 12 hours.
You have to have past numbers there with rule books too. Sorry, Ray.
Yeah.
Okay. Can please, somebody in your line to go in, somebody's holding a dice, and if you roll the die, it's the rule of sorry. You get to go that many heads, and person to the back of the line.
Oh my God, you have riot.
I think you should name it Jumanji, bitches.
So yeah, I thought an Epcot based around like a board game. Board games would be freaking awesome. So
So bored.
all right, well, I had two. I think most people only had two. Ray, I know you have a couple of other ones you wanted to throw out there. You want to run through those real quick?
So I have one more that I kind of fleshed out, and then I've got
Okay.
a bunch of ones that I thought would be fun, but we can save them for another time, or I can ram them off really quickly. The one that I fleshed out a little bit was Stranger Things. How can we not have a Stranger Things world? I mean, that would be fucking amazing.
That'd be scary. No.
So I thought the rides. I mean, you would travel to the Upside Down, and it would be escape rooms. So you got to figure out how to get out of the Upside Down.
Yes, nice.
Why not? And then the dark rides. Obviously, you'd have a bunch of different dark rides where you're getting chased or whatever. Like that'd be kind of fun. Restaurants would be Benny's Burgers and Surfer Boy Pizza because you have to.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
And then the shows would be obviously at night. You'd have these massive fireworks, and it would be awesome. And then sometimes you could see like a shadow in the sky and that kind of stuff.
Nice.
But I thought it'd be really fun. It's nice, gorgeous day, and all of a sudden it starts kind of like snowing, and you're looking around, and then all of a sudden all the monsters start doing a parade through wherever you're walking, and the lights coming down on you and stuff. And then the last person would be, of course, Vecna, and he's like hovering as he's coming by. So that'd be a lot of fun.
We could do that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wait, can I yes and you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Roller coaster called Vecna's Curse. It's kind of like Rip Ride Rocket. You get to pick your favorite song and it plays as you're riding.
Oh,
awesome.
there you go.
Nice.
Yes.
And it doesn't have a chair. You're just hanging like this.
It has a chair.
And then I thought it'd be fun for the accommodations. It would be a really nice hotel, but then it would suddenly switch either overnight or when you left the room and so when you got back in, you'd be in the Upside Down, so it would look really dank and like dark and
nice.
So that way
nobody's sleeping.
Nobody's sleeping because you don't know what you're waking up to, and
Nope.
And then lights would be flickering and like yeah.
You'd wake up in the middle of the night and just be like, oh, that's right.
That'd be good. Do you want to run through these other ones that I thought would be fun real quick?
Sure, go for it.
Yes.
So, Sean, I really hoped that you were going to do this one.
Yeah.
High on Life. I think it would be amazing to do a whole.
Oh, Lord.
Because I just that game looks hilarious to me.
Yeah, I don't know. Designing it would be fun. I don't know if I'd want to go there.
Yeah.
Fair.
It would probably suffer from the same thing that the game suffers from, and that is lack of variety and over repetition. Like, yeah, it's like, oh look, it's the same enemy again and again and again.
Yeah, pretty much.
I thought Dazed and Confused would be a really fun park to go to.
Oh Lord.
Hell yeah.
It'd be a great land.
All the ride entrances say you must be this high. So this high.
Yes.
Yep,
And all of the staff members would be like, I know you.
And obviously this one's going to be in Colorado, right?
Ocean's 11. Like, how isn't there a whole theme?
Like a dark ride or something,
like within a hotel, like that would be a fantastic experience.
Yeah. How is there not a hotel and casino like that yet?
He'd go broke.
It's insured. It's fine.
Always be robbed, yeah.
Shrek, because hell yeah, you got to do a whole theme park on Shrek.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one was because I love it so much, Red Dead Redemption 2, and it would just to be piss off Sean. I have to walk everywhere. There's no.
God damn it! Or it'd be like wildcats everywhere. Killed Mike.
Yes. Randomly. Sorry, you're dead.
Yeah.
But the only problem with West, it would be like Westworld. So.
Oh yeah, so it'd be real. Damn.
Yeah.
Right?
I almost thought someone was going to bring that up. They're like, "What do we do actually in Westworld?" Be like, because we've seen how that ends up. Like, no.
Yeah, really.
The one I'm really shocked you didn't bring up, Eugene,
Mm.
Ghostbusters.
I thought about it. I played around with the idea. I just don't see it being a whole super experience. Like they are making these VR things that you can go into, which are pretty cool. Which if whenever comes, if I'm ever close to one, I'll definitely have to try it or whatever. So, but yeah,
You
like,
get to bust ghosts, like they make you feel like you're actually catching them. That'd be cool.
well, yeah. So like, I wouldn't mind doing that, but I don't know if you would want a whole do like a
Land.
whole weekend or whatever. I have a feeling much like the the guys in the movie, you'd be like, oh, how many more do we have to do? So.
What does everybody think about a Westeros theme island?
I'm
Whatever.
a little shocked no one brought that up.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, like, dragons and the ice
I'm
wall.
Don't
Does
most
that
people die
already
in that though?
I was gonna say that's kind of the
Yeah.
Horribly.
That's a risk you take to go.
Yeah.
or that's
Does
literally
that
how you end the
already-
weekend. Like you arrive on Friday, you do the shopping and stuff and have fun on Saturday and Sunday right before you check out. Literally, someone walks up and like pretends to stab you to death. Like there you go. Like that's what everyone talks about.
You get
How did-
invited to a wedding.
Yeah, how did you die? I got burned alive by a dragon. It was awesome.
It's
I
awesome.
feel like that exists. It's called a Ren Fest.
Yeah.
I like it.
Nice.
The only other thought that I had, but then I realized that someone had already come up with it, was like a land full of extinct theme park attractions, and then I realized that that's what Defunct Land is.
True.
So
Although I bet
Part two.
there'd be plenty of people willing to just they're like, hey, we resurrected this roller coaster from this place. We resurrected this ride from this place, and
it
getting the
happens.
rights would be the main thing. But I'm sure there'd be a ton of people would be like, oh hell, like, well, he's not in there right now. I was going to say, my son has told me multiple times he wants to go to Universal Studios in Japan,
You're
by
welcome.
Japan, because they still have the Jaws right there, and I'm like, we're not going to Japan just so you can ride the Jaws ride. I hate to tell you, dude.
Oh, that was a
That's
cool
my
ride, though.
fault.
That was a cool ride.
It was so cool. That's my fault because I showed it to Nick and then he asked me if it still existed. And I was like, well, buddy, I said, it doesn't anymore in Florida, but it does still exist in Japan. He goes, I'm going to go to Japan. I go,
Yeah.
"Okay."
There's a
Thanks,
rumor
Sam.
that they want to bring it back for the level or the new world that they're making at Universal Studios because they're bringing back the Back to the Future one.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to redo
Nice.
that one. Well, that's the thing. It's like, why not just Confrontation was dope.
Yeah.
Jaws was incredible. Like, those practical effects rides, as much as like I get that the screens give you a whole other world to go into, practical effects make the difference. It really does.
Yeah. So,
I think I thought it'd be cool to have like, one of those Tower of Terror type things, but based off of Contact. You get into a little sphere.
oh my God, yeah.
That'd be cool.
And then your dad's waiting for you at the end. No thanks.
Small moves.
Shut up.
All right. Does anyone have any other ones that they want to throw out there real quick? I think we're good. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and move on to our picks and pans. Would anyone like to go first?
I'll go.
All right, Lainey, what is your pick
All
and
right.
or pan?
I have the yawns. My pick is all of this incredible theme park coverage I've gotten over the last week. They are soft opening the new Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway in Disneyland, and they've given it like a new home in Toontown, and everything that I have seen, like everything is so good. The ride itself exists already in Florida, but the way that they've set it up and the storytelling that they use like in Toontown and like through the queue, it looks incredible. And I kind of hope that that's the version of the ride I get to experience first, because it just looks so good. They did such a great job and the attention to detail is so awesome. And then they are cast previewing Tron Light Cycle Run this week. So there's been a ton of coverage on that. I have a friend that just wrote it and is about to give me a full rundown on it. But I really like to see all the coverage. It looks incredible. It really does. And as much as Disney's a little bit kind of in the hot seat about the accessibility of it. I feel like, I mean, they'll learn as they go, I'm sure, but it looks amazing. It really does.
Yeah, when
So,
they first
that's
announced
okay.
that, I was like, hell yeah, like that would be awesome.
Took them long enough, but it's opening. It's happening.
Nice. Joseph, what's your pick and or pan?
I actually have 2 picks. My first pick is I experienced my very first hockey game yesterday, and that was pretty cool. We went to go see my company had a company outing, so we went to go see it was a college hockey game, University of Denver versus North
Ohio.
Dakota, and apparently it was like a rematch of last year's national championship, and it was a really good game. I had a lot of fun. They served Canadian beer, which I thought was kind of
They
funny because it's
did.
I guess hockey. You have to do something Canadian. One of my coworkers' wife grew up in Minnesota, so she like hockey is her thing. So anytime I had a question, I was kind of turn and look at her, and she would explain what was going on. Then I would say about halfway through the first period, I don't understand what the referee like what they were calling as far as like the names of things. I know icing and roughing and stuff like that, but I understood more of the game. At one point in time, Elaine looks at me, and I'm just sitting there in complete
I
silence,
thought he wasn't having fun.
just staring. And she's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm watching the game." And she says, "Is your athlete brain has it already figured out hockey?" And I was like, I mean, yeah, kind of. Like I'm watching how the coach does the line changes and why he's doing certain things and how the game is progressing and everything like that. And it was a lot of fun. I have a couple coworkers that play, and they have said the moment that I learn how to skate, like they'd love to take me out there just so they can, like, you could experience getting hit. And I would just kind of laugh to myself. Well, I was like, I will hit you back.
Yeah,
Like that is, there's fun in that.
You'll have
So
to be
that's
first.
I could see
yeah.
Joseph being strapped to the goal, like
Yeah.
using him as a goalie and just like no.
And Goldberg.
So that's my first one. My second pick is a game that I downloaded for the PS5. I think it was 2 weeks ago. It's called Returnal. It is a roguelike game. So essentially, you're this woman that is answering a distress call on an alien planet. You land on the alien planet, or sorry, you crash land on the alien planet. Your ship is destroyed, so you are like progressing through this planet to try and figure out the source of the signal and hopefully escape said planet. And about 30 minutes into the game, as you're playing, the game kills you. Like you encounter an unbeatable boss, and the game
Mhm.
kills you. Then the sequence starts again. Her spaceship crashes again, and she wakes up and is looking around and says, "What the hell is happening?" Well, the game itself, every time you die, the game resets. You lose all your weapons, you lose all your stats, you lose everything. There are certain key upgrades that you keep as you go along, but so every time the game resets, the planet that you're on also completely resets. So when you go through the very first room on any given run, it is completely different than every other time that you've played the game.
Hmm.
It took me they call them runs or sorry cycles. So every time you play the game and you die, that's one cycle. It took me 21 cycles to beat the first boss. And then after I beat the first boss, I was like, sweet. And I go on to the next section of the planet. Like it takes you from like the swampy area to this desert area. I go into one room. I see an enemy there. I was riding high. I immediately got my ass handed to me. Like it wasn't even close. I'm currently in the middle of cycle. I don't know. It's like I'm in the 50s at this point. Still trying to beat the second boss.
So you start all the way
but
over?
You start all the way over
Oh, that
every
sounds
single time.
terrible.
The cycle that I'm on right now is like you can suspend your cycle so it'll save to the cloud so you don't have to worry because I should say this, if you turn the game off, it resets and you start again.
Mhm.
So you can suspend the cycle. So that's what I've done right now. I'm halfway through the second section of the desert world, and I've yet to take damage. Like I have full stats on my weapons. my suit, everything. Like I am just fucking cruising through it right now. But I'm playing, and then I'm completing a second, and I'm saving, and I'm stopping. And playing because there are certain areas of the map that I cannot access until I defeat the second boss because he has a grappling hook, and I can't get to higher areas of the map. And if you look up Returnal in 2021 and 2022, it was the least completed game on the market because it's basically Dark Souls in space. There is no difficulty, and the game adapts to your playstyle. So it is fantastically fun. But the very first, I mean, when the first time I beat that first boss, I literally jumped up from the couch. I was like, yeah! I mean, I scared Elaine, I scared the cats. Like it was like I had done this huge thing. I moved to the second area and immediately died, and I was just like, God, dang it! Like I have to figure it out. So that is my second pick. So if anybody has, it's a PS5 exclusive. So you gotta know anyone that has it, give it a shot. It's a lot of fun.
All right, fair enough. Jennifer, I know that probably sounds like hell to you.
Yeah. Oh God. The
Her
anxiety
pan is
level.
the game he just described.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have much exciting to talk about. My sister went home recently, so that's kind of sucky because she's been here for 7 months, and our family's been through a lot, so it's weird kind of readjusting. So yeah, that's about the most exciting thing in my life, other than my dad going back to the hospital and just the constant what fresh hell is today gonna bring. But I guess I do have one good thing. I did complete one 30-day sequence on Yoga with Adrienne on her 30-day yoga challenge. I didn't do them every day, but I did every one in the challenge. So I doubled up a couple days.
Nice.
Yeah, I love Adrienne. She's gotten me through the last few months, so that was an accomplishment.
Well, good deal. Sean, you have a pick or pan for us?
Pick. Deb and I finally kind of figured out what we're going to do for our 20th coming up in November. We're actually going to go to Vegas and then over to Hollywood Studios for the Mario Kart thing because she's a huge Mario fan. So we're like, yeah, let's do all that. So we've got a travel agent now. We're looking to book mid-November. So we'll go for a couple weeks and tour around, see Grand Canyon, Hoover Dam, get some damn bait kind of thing.
Yep. Take the damn tour.
Yeah, exactly. There's there's gonna be so many memes when I get out of there. Oh my God.
I bet they both hate and love that movie because it's like, hey, people want to come see it now, and it's gonna be the same thing over and over again.
Well, apparently it's like all drying up, like all the water's going away. So
well,
we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Ray, what's your pick or pan? Oh, Ray, what's your pick or pan?
So I've got two picks. Welcome to Wrexham. If you haven't watched Welcome to Wrexham yet, it is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yes, Ryan Reynolds bought a soccer team with the other guy,
Rob Knucklehead.
But yeah, I didn't care about football, but it made me actually care, and it was like, oh, this is awesome. I really want to follow this and see where it all goes, and it got me excited. I'm excited for season 2. It's going to be coming out too. So really fun. Hoping that transitions to the NHL when Ryan Reynolds buys the Ottawa Senators. That would be fucking awesome. And then my other pick is I will just say what movie we watched, and I'll let Chris explain why it was so amazing. 1993's Homeward Bound.
No.
Don't need a recap.
No.
All right. Chris, what's your pick and/or pan?
So my other pick that he did was Welcome to Wrexham, which is really good. It's 18 episodes, and it's really good. It's the way they filmed it and edited is really, really good. Entertaining. Also, so we did watch Homeward Bound with our lovely, sweet girl, Logan, who is a giant bleeding heart. Her thing was like, I don't want to watch anything where the animals die. I'm like, they don't die. Everybody lives. It's very aspirational. No. However, she was in a mood. I don't know what was going on, but the roller coaster all 4 of us went on with her She cried like 8 times. It took about 20 minutes to get over it at the end. I remember liking it as a kid because it was like entertaining.
No,
She's giggling right now because she knows she's.
I'm triggered right now.
So then I called my sister. She's like, "Yeah, my boys love that movie," and I'm like, "I remember liking it."
No.
And she just was like, she's nearing the end. And she's like, "I hate you guys."
Yes.
Beside herself. 1 minute she's like, there's this one scene where everybody's filing out of this Jeep, and the pit bull chase is like trying to squeeze past.
Oh my
the
god,
kid.
that was amazing.
And he launched the kid into the car door, and they kept the take in the movie. That was hilarious. But like, she just was like, "Oh my god, what am I watching?" And so when Logan had a visceral reaction to something, she kind of throws herself back. So there was a lot of this and a lot of like crying and just not crying, and then like we're like at a loss. We did not realize this was gonna happen. And we told her before, we're like, everybody lives. Everybody lives.
That's not, no.
Because she has like, nobody can die. No, especially humans. I feel lukewarm about, but definitely not the animals.
Not animals.
No, and so we were like, it's inspirational. So it's very
Okay, hang on though. She was happy about the cougar getting launched into the water. It's fine because it's a bad guy.
It's a bad guy, so it was totally fine. She's okay with that. But my poor girl, and she's still
crying
reliving
now.
it right now.
It's horrible.
So I don't know if it was
Doggy snuff film.
Quinn was watching it too, and he didn't. I don't know if it's
He was in no.
his disorder or what it is, but he did not have the same kind of reaction that Logan had.
Oh, it was amazing.
It was very, but it's because we were talking to her about when she was a toddler, and oftentimes it was not laughing at her, but we would laugh at the situation because it gets to a point where you're like, I don't know what the fuck to do, so I have to laugh at it. So we weren't laughing at her, but it was just like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Do I hug her? Do I not? Do we shut this off? But she got to see how it finishes, and so she could see that everybody.
She had to watch it until the end.
So okay. Lainey agrees with you then, bud. Yeah.
Awful. No, you got to have my rule. I'd say have the same rule for every movie. It's no babies or animals in peril, danger, or dying.
Okay. So I think that's got to be the new rule, bud? Nobody in peril, but you.
I can't do animals in peril.
Peril.
Yeah.
So has she seen Independence Day? Like.
Yes, she has. She hasn't seen Independence Day.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm just thinking because when the boys watched that, I was like, "Wait a minute, is the dog gonna make it? Is the dog?" I'm like, "Just keep watching." Is the dog gonna? I'm like, "Just watch."
Yes.
I hated that part.
So, anyways, and then that was just watching, just experiencing Homeward Bound with Logan. Just the journey we all on as a family was it was a journey. That was a core memory we all made. And then my plan that I have is Ray got me this book. Now bless him, the back cover blurb sounded very different than what I read. It's a book called Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. It's trash. Don't read it. It's awful. And I know when a book is bad when I literally put it down and roll my eyes. I'm like,
I'd be trying to fall asleep and I'd be here. Like, oh, okay, is everything okay over there? It's fine.
Right, so I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I have to see how these two horrible people end up. And they're teenagers too, but they're 18, so it's fine with what happens in the book. But it was just ridiculous. And then I read the author's notes at the end, and she was trying to tout it as this inspirational story. I'm like, you wrote a book about fucking awful teenagers. None of this was inspirational. I don't know where you got that from. It's a terrible book. It was awful. Just terrible, terrible book.
The premise came across as it was going to be like an updated version of You've Got Mail.
Yes. So that's how it does kind of
a
little bit with a twist. I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's kind of cool. But then it's just trash. Absolute, utter trash.
So you won't be picking it from Marginally Geeky.
Well, no, absolutely not. Because I
won't read it.
No. I got there with like 50 Shades. I'm like, this is just so bad. Well, how is she a best-selling author and then wrote this? I don't understand what happened.
Girl that wore Twilight.
Nice. I have two picks. The first one is it's gonna sound really funny, especially if you're into video games. Diablo 3. While Diablo 4 is about to come out here in not too long, before Christmas, I've been talking about trying to find something I could play, like that's a role playing game for a while, and just kind of looking into some different things. And Ray and Sean and their friend Mike would get together and play Diablo 3. And so it was on sale, so I bought it, and I've gotten my boys into it as well. And it's what I've been looking for. It's just like, well, I just feel like going around and killing a bunch of monsters right now. So that's what I'm going to do, and just keep beefing up my character. And what's funny is it's like the season that we're on right now is about to end, and they were telling me this is extremely long, especially considering Mike posted something saying when Diablo 4 comes out, they're going to reset the season like every 3 months. I'm like, whoo, that's a short period of time, but we'll see how that goes. But no, I'm just having a lot of fun, and like that's the only game I'm really that and GoldenEye. I am going back and playing GoldenEye from time to time with the boys. But yeah, it's just been fun to jump on and beef up my character at this point, and I'm to the point that I'm like, well, is this gonna help me? No, this doesn't help me. It's just there is so much depth to it that it can be really overwhelming, but as you start getting into it, you start kind of understanding how the depth works and how things work together. It's just a hell of a lot of fun. So my other pick is a TV show that I was a little hesitant to start picking up and watching because I didn't want it to end up like another TV show that I used to watch, and that is The Last of Us. I was hesitant to start the show. I talked with one of my Ghostbuster group members, and I'm like, listen, I've never played the game. I understand what the game's based on, but I've never played the game. I said, I just don't want this to be fucking The Walking Dead. I don't want this to be, well, it's the fifth season and things just keep getting worse. And, oh, a little bit. No, it's worse again. Wait, it's a little bit. No, it's worse again. And it's just like, it was just despair constantly. And um, I'm enjoying it so much. You probably have seen everyone and their brother talking about the third episode. The third episode is absolutely fantastic. Um, but yeah, I'm enjoying it so far, and I've been promised that no, it's not going to end up like The Walking Dead. There are some there's some rough stuff coming up, but I'm enjoying it so far. It definitely, if we definitely get more things like an episode 3 where we get these kind of slice of life things that are happening within the world, I'll be extremely happy with that. So. But yeah, if you're not watching The Last of Us, go check it out on HBO. It's definitely worth your time. So I
Don't
have
you
no
have
idea
to
what.
wait for the episodes?
Yeah,
Yes, they are coming
it's
out
a
weekly.
Ugh. Worst.
Then just wait until it comes out, and then just knock out the whole season.
I
So,
know. But then I have to wait for the next season.
but
Oh,
yeah,
Muffin.
the episode 3 with Nick Offerman is just
Oh,
Yeah,
fantastic.
that was great. That was a standalone. You could just watch that episode, not
In
watch
all
anything
honesty,
else.
yeah, it's funny. I listened to there's a couple makers I listened to. I listened to a couple of different podcasts, and one of the guys on there is friends with Nick Offerman, and he's like, he's watching it with a friend of his or his girlfriend or something, and she's just like, when does Nick come on? I don't know if I can keep doing this. They're like watching episode 1 or 2 or whatever, and they didn't realize, oh no, he's just in episode 3.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, and then they watched it and loved it or whatever. But yeah, it is fantastic. It's and apparently grossly different than how it played out in the game too, which is
Yeah.
and so far everyone I've talked to, except for people who are on the homophobic streak, everyone is like, no, I like what they did. It was interesting and I've had several conversations, and we've had conversations about that before. When they change something from a game or from a book, it can either go really well, like in The Martian, how they had to combine several characters into kind of one character because they had to cut out some of the book. There was so much stuff you couldn't put all in the movie, and then you have things like Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, and you're just like, what the hell did I just watch? So loved the book, movie was garbage. Anyway. Well, that is our show for the month, ladies and gentlemen. If you would please give us a 5-star rating on iTunes, Google, Stitcher, wherever you listen to the show. You can find us at epicallygeeky.com, where you can find the rest of our shows, including the Marginally Geeky Show, the Creatively Geeky Show, and Sustainably Geeky. We're not that active on social media, but if you want to come look for us, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Epically Geeky. Where can we find you online, Ray?
The Reluctant Yeti on Instagram, and I don't post much there either, so good luck.
Yeah. Chris?
Speaking of all that stuff, I'm also taking a bit of a social media break for a little bit. But my handle is Moody Midlife on Instagram, and I'm on all the other shows that you mentioned.
Nice. Joseph?
If you Google me, something will pop up. But I'm working on a deal to pay someone to scrub me from it.
Lainey?
You can find me on Instagram at It's a Laney Bird. I also do not post that much, so enjoy.
Jen?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at It's Gonna Be Me and Sustainably Geeky every month.
Sean?
Fucking with Wikipedia, so all you college and university students, I'm sure you're switching to the ChatGPT, which I played with that, and I totally get. It's so fun. It does write a good essay and training material. It does work well.
Just check your facts.
And your favorite broken toy on Instagram, and usually marginally geeky.
And as also, you can find my individual wacky adventure online at Optimus Machine on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for everyone on the site. Have a good night.